What's going on, everyone? This is Steve Larson, and you're listening to Secret MLM Hacks Radio. So here's the real mystery. How do real MLMers like us, who didn't cheat and only bug family members and friends, who want to grow a profitable home business, how do we recruit A players into our downlines and create extra incomes, yet still have plenty of time for the rest of our lives? That's the blaring question, and this podcast will give you the answer. My name is Steve Larson, and welcome to Secret MLM Hacks Radio. What's up, guys? Hey, hopefully you're doing awesome. I know it's been a little while since I've published here. I've been at several events. I've spoken at several events. Been flying like crazy. It's been a lot of fun. So what I wanted to do for this episode was I wanted to drop in a recording of me coaching the people who are inside of the program that I sell, called Secret MLM Hacks. And it's been a lot of fun coaching them. I realize that I've now brought almost 900 people through this process, or a similar process as well, and had a lot of success with it. I've been able to go through and help create millionaires, and many of them now, and it's been great. And so one of the things that I noticed, there's always this point as people start to learn something new that they will go through. It happens to pretty much everybody that I've ever seen and watch. And what they'll do is they'll sit back and they will start to question the very process that they're going through. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to drop in. It's kind of special, guys. Okay? It's unique. There's 3 things that I ask every single person that I am coaching to go through internally. And so the next, it's like 20, 30 minutes, something like that, but it's totally worth it, I promise, for you to go through and see what those 3 things are that I drop out to my students to help them know what I expect from them as they move forward inside of my program. So if you're sitting on the fence or whatever, every Friday what I do is I always want people to know that I'm there for them, to help them answer questions, to coach them along the path, to push them when they need pushing, right? I look at myself as a coach, right? I tell them I'm a coach. Now, one thing about a coach is that coaches don't always make things comfortable, right? The purpose of the coach is to cause progression. And sometimes progress, requires a little bit of pain or discomfort or things that are new, things you never, anyway. So this is me going through and setting kind of the premise as far as like, hey, here are the 3 things that I require. And what's kind of cool is, regardless if you're in my program or not, these are things that you can use inside your own downline, and that I think that you will be able to help set the bar so that you create people who are people of action. One of the things that is most dangerous is when you recruit a whole bunch of people, which I've totally done this before, and probably most of us have, but you recruit a whole bunch of people who are not expecting to run on their own, right? How do you get someone past that? And so this is what I tell my people. This is what I tell not just the people in my group, but also people inside of my very downline to help set the bar and help people realize that, yes, I'll run, but I'll run with you, not for you, right? And these are the 3 things that I have people go through and understand. So anyways, I'm going to cue this over here, and you can even take notes if you'd like to. These 3 things, though, drastically, I've always found increase the speed of success for the person who is either in my downline or the person I'm coaching, whatever it may be. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoy this. Thanks so much. Guys, I'm excited for today, and hope you're doing well, and I am just thrilled to be part of this group. I'm so touched by the number of you guys that are just out there, just killing it, just doing everything that you can to just run forward. And one of the hardest things I have as a coach is I've had a total of about 900 people ish. Wait, let me think. Yeah, it's almost 900 people. 900 people in the last year that I've coached through these kinds of processes and similar things you guys are going through right now. And the thing that gets heartbreaking for me is like this whole idea that you guys, no one's teaching what I'm teaching, okay? You got the best material in my mind, the best tools in my mind. You got the best stuff that's out there, right? You got your completely blue ocean strategy. You got all the stuff that's out there. And the thing that will solve that hangs people up, it's like, well, what is it then? It's actually the ability for the individual to believe that it can work. But that's it. The ability to believe that it actually can work. And yes, Steve, and I totally get it. And yes, I will marry the process. And one of the things that every once in a while I get someone to reach out, they're like, are you telling me that I actually have to put a few things into this? I actually have to work on it? I was like, well, yeah, it's a business. Of course you have to. But it's not completely turnkey all the way. It's like, no, it wouldn't be valuable then. Are you serious? Are you serious? I've turned keyed everything that I can. You know what I mean? And it's hard for me to see that as a coach. So those of you guys who you're out there, you're hustling, you're trying to apply all the stuff that I'm teaching, you're going through and you're just going through the motion. You know, you're just doing it. I thank you. It means a lot to me. It's heartbreaking for me to see that. I've been where you are. And 2 years ago, I was broke, guys, and I went through and I started putting all these pieces together and putting these, it's crazy. And then I ended up getting my first 2 Comma Club award. What? That's crazy. $1 million through a single funnel. Crazy. Changed my life, and started coaching people in this process. And over the last year, I've had over almost 900 people in, which is crazy, that I've had a chance to bring through with this. Both personal coaching students, you guys, Russell's group, which is huge, another group of mine that I have this big. And it's been just, it's so fun. But it also is like it's an emotional roller coaster for the coach. And those of you guys who have an existing team and you're trying to get people to take action, like you've been through that before and you know what I'm talking about. And so I'm very appreciative of you guys and just going forward and just doing it. There's been a ton of success stories already in this group alone, and it's not that old. It's pretty new still, actually. And I've had a lot of people reach out, and it's the classic excuses. Well, I don't know that I have time. It's like, are you serious? This can make you $1 million. What's that worth to you? It's not going to be done in a week. No. How long does it take for my 4-year-old to grow into an adult? Years, right? I'm going to shortcut that process for you by a ton if you just do what I tell you to do on it. But one thing I want you to know and understand and be a part of and realize is like, I wish people would just stop questioning the process. You know what I mean? The process works, but people get so caught up in questioning whether or not the process works that they're not actually doing the process. So sit back like, will that actually work? Why don't you get there, try it and find out? You know what I mean? And it's so much better to do it that way and do it that model than it is to go the other way and start questioning every little thing. Doing something is always better than sitting back and questioning. You just won't get anything done. At the very bare bolts of it, I have never seen anybody who actually is failing when they just have pig-headed discipline running towards stuff. It may not even be the fact they may not even be running towards the right thing, but just the fact that they're running, they drastically increase their chances of actually being successful with something, right? Rather than sit back and go, oh, what about this? What about this? What about this? So I'm so thankful because those of you guys, especially those of you guys, typically it's those who get on these calls with me or we'll see them later that are the ones that are actually doing it, pushing forward. And it's not to be a jab at anybody. I hope that it's a teachable moment, though. If you want to look back and think to yourself, like, man, am I actually teachable, right? A lot of what I teach you guys, I think it's like Module 3, goes through and teaches you more about internal beliefs of your customer, of your prospective customers, right? Of people you want to sell both in your product and your downline. And what I want you to do, what I invite you guys to do is to take the time to sit back and think to yourself, what are my false beliefs about what Steven's telling me? And do the same thing to yourself as what I'm trying to teach you to do to your customers. Start asking yourself, like, am I believing him? Or am I, because I know it works, right? I was just at Funnel Hacking Live in Florida this last week, and it was so cool to sit back and watch 90 more people get their 2 Comma Club award, and sit back and go, wow, they were from my program. They're from my program. They're from my program. They're from my, wow, whoa, holy crap. And it was cool to see that. I know the process works. The issue I run into is the person's individual belief. And funny enough, I have to treat you like I do a normal customer, like you have to, right? Just because you're in this program, it's not over for me. Just like when you get someone in your downline, it's not over for you. You got to continue to look at them and go, what is the belief? What's the belief that these people are struggling with as far as taking an action? I can put a cattle prod to your back and get you to do something for a little while, but that's not sustainable. It's better for me to sit back and think, what is the belief? Right? Behavior is driven by belief. So if I want to affect your behavior, I got to think about your belief. What's the belief you have about this program's success or my product success or my downline's ability to make you? Does that make sense? And then I go, hey, and then now that I know what the vehicle related beliefs are, now what are the actual internal rated beliefs, which typically usually go towards things that are insecurities, right? Meaning someone will go, oh, this looks like it could work for me, Steven, but I'm not a coder. I don't know any ClickFunnels stuff. I'm not a coder either. Okay. I'm not good. I'm not going to know what to say. I'm not going to know what to do. I'm not good face to face with people. I'm not either. That's why I freaking build funnels for it. Right. Does that make sense? And so I constantly am looking at what you guys are doing. I'm constantly, and I'm watching. Okay, just so you know, I'm watching, and I'm seeing where you guys are, and I'm seeing what you're doing. I'm watching. I'm trying to be reactionary to what is he's doing in a way that we be more successful with it. So I am going back and. I'm going back, and as far as the external, that's the next one. And people will blame their ability to be successful on things that are away from them. Okay. I can't be successful with this program. Or I can't be successful with this downline or with this product, whatever it is, right? Whatever it's selling. I can't be successful because of this. And they blame on that. They blame it on things away from them. Time. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough energy or resources. I work a 9 to 5. So did I, guys. That's how I bootstrap the whole way. Okay. I don't have enough, my ability to be successful. I can't do it because boom, look at this. My spouse, they're not going to be supportive enough. Right. And those are the internal and then external things that people deal with. And so I'm watching you. Okay. Not in a creepy way, please understand, but I'm watching you and I'm going, oh gosh, dang it. Like that's the thing right there. They're struggling with this, or they're struggling with that, or and the thing that just like will wreck me on the inside is when I sit back and I watch people and I'm like, you wouldn't be saying that. Like the reason you are saying that is because it sounds like you're believing that in order to be successful, you have to have zeros and ones running through your veins. Not true, or you feel like you got to have a ton of time. Like, well, yeah, but I'm going to shortcut the 5 years I've taken to do this, hopefully down to 5 weeks, you know what I mean? And shorten it down if you're just willing to feel it. So the thing that I have to ask you to do, and I know that appreciative of the choir here, because you guys are on here with me, you're typically the ones who are doing it, which I'm very excited for and just so appreciative. I can't tell you how much like mental kudos that gives me to see you and watch you be like, oh man, like he's doing it, she's doing it, they're doing it. Oh yes. Roadblock, sure, right? Something unexpected, something hard, absolutely, totally going to happen. Okay, but like to stop questioning the process and just marry the process and be willing to give yourself to the pieces of sacrifice it requires to be vulnerable, to sit back and go, I don't know this. And the first time I start publishing, Stephen, I'm going to look like an idiot. Well, yeah, duh, I did too. Okay, right? And you go back and you're like, oh my gosh, and you start backtracking, backpedal. And you got to be able to know and marry the process as you go. And I'm thankful for you guys like crazy. Those of you guys are doing it. It makes it worth it for me. It's got, at this point of where I am, it doesn't have anything to do with money. I want to be able to be building something that has direct impact and is able to go and if I can get you to do it, you think of the dozens and maybe even hundreds, maybe even thousands of people it will affect as you teach your downlines this stuff, right? I know it works better. I know I know it does. I'm doing it, right? You guys know it does. You're in it, and if I can get this is how we change an industry. Okay. And so I'm attacking it from several levels. I'm trying to help you guys, right? Us, the little guy. I'm trying to help us get this done. And then I'm also starting to work through some possibilities of working through a few different MLMs from the corporate angle who are willing to accept this stuff, who are not trying to use it to crush the little guy. You know what I mean? I'm very careful. I do not want that to happen. So anyway, it means a lot to me. So if I can get you to believe that the process is the way and that you marry the process, and set your own feelings aside and understand that there will be moments of embarrassment. You're going to be feelings you have no idea what to do. Some people are like, oh my gosh, tech stuff, or not enough time in my life, or there's never enough time in your life. That's always an excuse, or this or that, or that. It is, if you can get past that piece of it, holy crap, guys, the world's your oyster, because you're able to go through and actually make progress in these things without actually sitting back and going, is this actually going to work? Like, you're never going to find out if you just keep asking that. You know what I mean? So I'm thankful for you guys. And then the second thing I would encourage you to do is find somebody to teach quickly. Find someone to teach quickly the things that you are learning. It will solidify it in your head. It's the way I got through school was by even random people. I just teach random people the stuff I was learning from teachers that day. And it's what got me from completely failing and getting kicked out of college. True story. And going back, reapplying, getting back in and almost getting straight A's the rest of college. And was that piece right there. A few other things as well, obviously. I'm very religious. I certainly believe that God helped me with that. And but one of the things I did on my part was to make sure that I was teaching people what I was learning. So please do that and go through, keep learning and teach what is it you're learning. So I'm like, publish. That's what you're publishing. You're publishing the things that you're learning. Someone asked me the other day, Stephen, when do you think you'll run out of podcast content? I never have thought of that. Maybe at the very beginning when I started, but that's it. I brainstormed over 100 episode topics just like this last Monday or Tuesday, I mean, and 100. And it was, someone was like, when are you going to run out of stuff? And I was like, wait a second. You believe that I know all this already? Like when I started publishing a year and a half ago? No. I was like, whoa, okay. Thanks for saying that. I didn't realize. Here's the big secret. You're learning with me. And I publish as I go. And if you can get to that spot, start publishing what you're learning, it will change your life, right? Because it will solidify the message in your head. You're teaching what you're learning, which solidifies it. You're bringing people along with you. And if you wait to be the guru on the mountain, nobody's going to follow you when you're this expert already. They're going to look at you and go, I don't know if I can get where you are, because look where you are. And since you haven't documented your journey down in the spot when you weren't up here, you know what I mean? When you're like down here and you're still trying to figure it out and you mess up and you've got the blunders. It's the reason why my first few episodes, they're not that good. But I leave them up there so that people understand, like, yeah, Steven's gone through his own transformation, right? So if you're like, oh, I'm brand new, you were in the perfect spot to start publishing, which is why, what is it, Module 4? That goes through that. Module 4 or 5 goes through and actually teaches you more about the actual publishing parts and why I do what I do. That's why that's in there, so that you can go through and do it, have the funnel, and start actually implementing this stuff, because you're in a prime position to start publishing as you're just one chapter ahead of everybody, and they'll see the transformation and your speed will increase. And it's not a linear curve. It's an exponential curve, and it'll take a while, and you'll feel stupid for a little bit, and you'll be like, you'll blunder up, and there'll be things that people will not be able to follow you on. And then suddenly one day you're just like, wait a second, today I didn't take one step. I took 5, but it felt like 1. It's happening to me right now. I left my job 3 months ago, and it's happening to me right now. And I can feel myself on this curve, and it's been really weird, but it's been really cool. And since I published before, I felt myself kind of like leveling up fast. That feels weird to say that, but since I was publishing beforehand, I have a lot of people reaching out going, Steven, it's so cool to see you out there just winning and doing it. Oh my gosh, it's so cool. It's so refreshing to know that there's some guy out there who's actually pulling it off. It's not just a whole bunch of smoke. And I'm like, well, no, of course not. What are you talking about? And someone's like, well, if I follow this guru or that guru, I don't know. Were they always like that? There's no documentation of them being somebody down here. And so that's what, like, publishing is your safety net for this entire game, all of it. Because, and I don't know if I've said that before, but it is. It's your safety net for the whole game. And if I can get you just to publish, oh my gosh, it's so much better. It's so much better. Because if you jack something up on whether or not using ClickFunnels, I don't care if you're not using ClickFunnels or not, it will speed up your progress a lot. It will. Okay. But if you don't want to, you don't have the cash for it, that's fine. Start asking yourself, how do I afford it? And get it eventually. But my first funnels were on YouTube. Literally, they're just YouTube videos with links in the bottom. There you go. Right. Until I could afford and ask myself the question, how can I afford ClickFunnels? And started developing little assets that paid for it, and it's, I just want you guys to do it. And I'm excited for you to be part of this. Just marry the process, be willing to go through some of the cuts and scrapes that are required for any individual as they start to move up, I should say, increase their income, increase their influence, gain a following. Well, for you to have a following, by definition, means you must be a leader. And that's what I wanted to do, is to help you develop into that person. And if you can publish and you can start building these funnels, and you can start doing all stuff and start learning. I know I dump a ton of stuff on you guys on that course. It's a lot. I know it's a lot, but I'm trying to overwhelm your brain in the right ways that cause growth, not scaredness. Like, oh crap, I'm never gonna make it. Okay, I hope it doesn't do that to you. But if I can cause overwhelm in the good ways, and decrease the time, guys. I have all of college. I slept maybe like 4 to 5 hours, maybe a lot of times 3 every night. All of college. Okay, learning this stuff. Okay, I would in the middle of my 9 to 5 job, I would get to the office at 6 a.m. I did this for such a long time. I'd get to the office at 6 a.m. and then I would go and I would do work on my own stuff till 9 a.m. for 3 hours. And then I would be on the clock for my employer, Russell. And then I would stop I get home at about 6 p.m., hang out with our kids. At about 8 o'clock, I would start again. And 8 o'clock, I did this every day. Okay. Every day. At 8 p.m., I would start again and I would go till another 3 hours, till about 11 p.m. And I'd go to sleep. I'd get back up at 5 and I'd do it all over again. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to shortcut the time. You have to know some of this stuff. The only 2 tasks you need to know in this whole business, you got to figure out how to innovate and how to market, which ultimately is exactly what the course teaches you. Everything else is a cost on the business. Don't worry about your logo. Stop worrying about what your colors are. It doesn't matter what your mantra is, okay? How do you market? That's not what a mantra is. How do you market, which is storytelling and belief shifting, okay? And how do you innovate? Offer creation, okay? That's it, okay? And then once you kind of understand those things, then I bring you into this whole thing called funnel building, okay? And if you want to, you can take it to the big leagues in the ClickFunnels area. But before that, it's just fluff. It's all noise, anything else. Anyway, so I want you to know where this path is. And if you can just stick to it and just do it, man, it's so rewarding. It's so rewarding to look back. I was telling one of my buddies the other day, I was like, for the first time in my life, and I'm about to turn 30 in like 3 weeks. Okay. Yeah, about 3 weeks. For the first time in my life, I feel fulfilled. Isn't that interesting? I mean, professionally. Fascinating, isn't it? And it's affected all these other areas of my life. But it came with a crap ton of grinding. And so I'm trying to cut out the crap and the fluff and the noise and the junk that does not matter for you to actually get there. And if I can do that, so it just marry the process and don't spend time doing that. Make the sins of commission, not omission. Meaning just act. Make mistakes of committing, meaning you're in action, you're actually doing stuff, right? The saddest thing is when people sit back and they're making the mistakes of omission, meaning they're just sitting back and they're just questioning, well, I'm not going to start until I know beginning to end. It's like, that's garbage. You're not going to do anything. Okay. Total garbage. If that's your belief, please be coachable in this moment and let me tell you that that is not a correct and accurate belief. It is not. Okay. You do not ever know beginning to end ever. Okay. If you wait to, you'll actually never do anything. If you instead sit back and you say, look, these are the 3 steps that I'm going to take right now. And in fact, I only care about step number 1. And you put your foot out there and you take that step as perfectly as that step can be placed. Boom. You take that step. Funny enough, after step number 3, usually for me anyways, I can't see a thing. It's pure black. I have no idea. I have no idea what I'm going to be doing on the 25th. You know what I mean? I don't know. Right. But I know where the peak is. And I'm just heading towards the direction of that peak. Is there a way for me to get to that peak with the most efficiency? Yeah, totally. But I don't know that until I'm there. And hindsight's 2020. I don't know that until I've gone through it. So if I can sit back and look back and go, oh man, next time I do this, I should do it that way. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make this, instead of a line up to that peak where it's like all over the place, I'm trying to go through and help you know, like, look, the straight line is by doing this and then this and then this and then this. But don't worry about this, this, and this until you do just step number 1. And funny enough, a new step number 3 will appear when you place your foot down. Boom, new step number 3. Huh, that wasn't there until I placed my first step. Interesting. What if I place my next step, right? You don't learn anything else until all you're learning is you're learning how to place the next step, the new step number 1. Boom. Oh, sweet. What? Check it out. A new step number 3 appeared, right? And that's how it happens. And you don't need that the whole way through. And the thing that it's just like, it rips me up on the inside, guys. I know I'm totally on a soapbox right now. Okay. But I'll get to your questions in a moment here. The thing that rips me up on the inside, I'll be coaching these people. I just had a chance to speak in front of 3,000 people last Friday. It was super fun. It was amazing. And the thing that eats me up on the inside is when I sit back and I watch people and they're like, Stephen, that sounds really good. And I see what you're doing. And it's really, I actually think it works, but there's like these other areas over here. I just don't know how they work. So I can't get started. No, that's not how it happens. Okay. That's not how anything is built. That's not how any progress is made. And this is enough for me to get motivational and passionate over. And yes, I'll shake my computer screen and I'll let you know that this is the way it works. It is as much as a faith game as it is anything else. Entrepreneurship is really the story of the relationship with you. Okay. And as you sit back and you're like, oh man, this whole game, I've got to get good at this game. Okay. I've got to get good at this game. You'll find that half of it is having an idea of what to do next. The other half of it is being okay with the fact that you don't know what to do next. It's being okay with this ambiguity. And you've got to sit back and go, here's the step I see that I can take. You take it. You don't sit back and try to figure out step 2. You're not even there yet. Don't worry about it till you take that first step, right? Don't worry about step number 3 until you've taken step number 2. Don't even worry about it. And so I applaud you is all I'm saying. I developed that mentality of it. I got voted the nicest kid in high school. Seriously, the nicest kid in high school out of 600 people who were graduating. It shocked the crap out of me. And the reason why is because I was not the nicest kid in high school. I am not in my mind. I was not expecting that award at all. I was the shyest kid. That's why I was nice. I just wasn't saying anything. I was a little rage machine on the inside. And what I had to learn, especially in this game, is that it's all about being able to develop yourself and get over those barriers. So what I'm telling you is like, I had to go, and I had a serious fear of adults. I had a hard time talking to people. I doing this, oh my gosh, they would have killed me. Now it's like breathing. It's totally fine, right? But like, take it from a guy who had a really hard time getting over this kind of stuff, right? And I would take and I've told you this in the course, right? I would take my computer and I'd stand in front of a mirror and I would mute the audio, and I would literally just physically mimic, because I wouldn't do it. I was buttoned up physically, emotionally, speaking, nothing. Okay. And I'd have also anxiety on the inside. And the way I broke myself from it was by being willing to be uncomfortable. And this whole game, like I said, it is about the relationship that you have with yourself. It's like the second story that's actually happening. Okay. And for those of you guys who have gone through the training piece where I talk about the hero's 2 journeys, that's what this is. Okay. We think, right, that the main journey, which it is, the main journey we're going on is this whole thing. We're like, hey, I'm going to go and I'm going to try and make $1 million and I'm going to build a sweet downline, a sweet team. That's cool. That is the main journey. The real journey, though, is the journey of transformation that's happening underneath. It's the internal transformation that happens, that's going on the inside of you. And I'm trying to teach you to be cognizant of it. Because if I can teach you to look back, be introspective and go, I don't know if this works, or, I think one of my false beliefs is, I believe I don't have enough time, and you can self-solve. Oh man, your speed to success is so much faster. It's like so much faster, because now you'll be in a spot where you can start self-teaching and have a relationship with you where you can develop, you can change, you can grow, and you can look back at yourself and go, oh my gosh, I'm not performing in this area very well because I have a hard time with this, and this. Right. And just acknowledging the fact that you know what those things are, it's self-discover and be like, oh man, the way I was raised taught me that, yeah, there's no such thing as anyone who's actually going to make it. You know what I mean? Or you know what I mean? Whatever that is for you. And as soon as you become cognizant of it, then you can do something about it. So I'm trying to teach you to be introspective, look back on yourself and go, oh, sweet. All right. These are the areas I'm struggling with. Tactically, this is what Steven's telling me to do. Okay. But you know what? He doesn't know me personally. And there's this whole area here I'm struggling with. What am I going to do? What's the thing I'm going to do to help break me and move forward and develop in a spot where I can actually get to a spot and start moving forward on this? And I'm going to town right now, huh? That's the thing that I try and get people to understand. That's what I'm trying to help people take on and have ownership of. Okay. Do not put the roles of personal development on others. It is not in a course. It is not in anywhere else. Those things can jumpstart you, but it's ultimately on yourself. And if you can learn to be introspective, self-medicate in the correct ways where you can go forward and literally craft your own path. Oh my gosh, this game gets so fun. It gets so fun. So are all the answers for you personally inside Secret MLM Hacks? Yes. For offer creation, for message creation, for funnel building, learning how to build and automate systems, things like that. Yes. For you as an individual, no. There's no way anyone could ever do that besides you. Okay. And I believe God and your relationship there. Okay. But if you can look back and be like, oh my gosh, like I had to realize, I remember the day I don't remember where, but I remember the realization, oh my gosh, I suck at talking to people. Isn't that interesting? Yeah, a lot of people walk up to me now, they're like, there's no way, Steven, are you kidding me? You're so good at that piece, that part. I was like, oh, well, let's go here. Let me take you back. If you guys want to, go 3 years back on my YouTube videos and watch me try to do a Periscope. It's back when Periscopes were big, right? One of the funniest things you'll ever see. They're terrible. They're terrible. right? But it's me publishing when I'm not really far down the path yet. And if you can do that, it's like, so cool, guys. It's so fun. And your ability to transform other people will also increase, because you'll take them with you, right? Which will break a whole bunch of beliefs that they'll have if you come at them when you're already here. Okay. And if you're already here, that's fine, but you got to get vulnerable, and not just with other people, with it yourself. And that's how the whole thing happens. That's how you speed this thing up. So anyway, I just talked like crazy. Hopefully that was helpful to you, though. I'm very passionate about this because, and entrepreneurship itself, because if I can get you to be introspective, to stop questioning the process, to marry it in a way that says, you know what, I don't care how long it takes. Okay. Those are the people who put their head down. They don't look at a timeline. They put their head down and they just work. And suddenly they look up one day and they're like, holy crap, look where I am. Huh. I really like that. I'm going to put my head back down again. This is cool, right? And then they get back down. That's exactly what happened to me. They're like, whoa, okay, sweet. Right. And it happened one day when I was sitting there next to Russell and I've been teaching a lot of stuff in his place when he couldn't get up on stage. That's crazy, by the way. Why was I able to do that? Because I was publishing, I was practicing, I was telling stories, I was breaking, rebuilding belief patterns. Okay. And what I'm trying to help you guys understand is, so anyway, I sat back and I remember it happened for me one day, and all of a sudden, Russell turns to me and he goes, dude, you are better at teaching offer creation than I am now. I was like, bro, you're Russell Brunson. Are you sure you just know what you just said? He's like, I'm being serious, Stephen. I was like, whoa, how did that happen? And I started looking around again and I was like, I'm publishing like an animal. I'm looking around, I'm coaching, I'm being coached, and I'm also coaching. That's very key. I'm teaching people what I'm learning, and nothing but even just a year it was technically a year and a half has passed. What if everybody did that? And I started looking around. I was like, I'm going to put my head back down and do this more. And it just increased my speed, and it feeds on itself. And now there's nobody who's sitting back going, come on, Stephen, do the next step, right? I wake up just as smiling and I'm like, let's go take on the day. Because I've created my own testimonial of myself being able to do it. And I'm trying to get you there. And it doesn't happen. I can't cause it for you, but I can get you in an environment and teach you the environment where it happens. And you will have to develop it on your own as you do this process. And I'm trying to, it's like it's so freaking awesome when you get to this spot. And it causes belief on a level that no one can teach you, because it will come from inside, and you'll learn a better relationship with yourself. It's really exciting. Anyway. Hey, thanks for listening. Please remember to rate and subscribe. Whether you just want more leads or automated MLM funnels, or if you just want to learn to get paid more for your product, head over to secretmlmhacks.com to join the next free training today.